Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is just the first time you're seeing me, thank you so much for stopping by. To my return subscribers, I love you all. On today's channel, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful stylish dress with a basque waistline and a puff sleeve. If this is what you're interested in, please stick to this video. Now, this is the drafting process, okay? So this is going to have a part 1 and a part 2. I want you to understand every detail of this dress because it's kind of stressful. Yeah, it's kind of stressful. So if you're making it for a client, consider charging that person very well because this is stressful. All right, so I am going to make this well details for us. All right, so let's get right into the video. So first things first, we're going to get our pattern paper. I want to apologize for the previous video I did that you guys didn't see properly. I am really sorry. My tripod stand was frustrating me, but I promise I've fixed it this time. So you're going to see every detail of this dress. So you're going to mark your starting line, take your vertical lines, which is your bust point, your under bust, your waistline, your hip line, and the full length of your dress. The full length of my dress, I want it to be 35, but I made it 37. I added extra 2 inches for hemming allowance. Okay, so I'm going to draw an horizontal lines just the way you see me doing. Then after drawing the horizontal lines, I'm going to label the lines. Now I want to say something. This dress, if you're going to recreate it, if you're going to make it for a client, please, you have to charge the client. Okay, first of all, take your shoulder measurement divided by 2. You come down by 1 inch shoulder slope. You take your neck width 3. Your neck depth is going to be V neckline. So you come down from your 1 inch shoulder slope. You're going to come down by your armhole line, which mine is 9. So I drew horizontal and vertical line, and I'll connect that 1 inch into that neck width 3 that I brought out. All right, then I'm going to draw my armhole curve just this way. Then I'll label my lines. All right, don't worry, I'm going to explain to you what I was saying about if you're going to make this dress for a client. Let's just continue. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take my nipple to nipple. I will take my nipple to nipple, but first of all, like I said before, the neckline of this dress is going to be V neckline, so just hold on. Then I'll take my nipple to nipple divided by 2 down to the waistline. Then I'll come down 4 inch below my waistline. Then I'll mark my nipple to nipple as well, divided by 2. Then I'll connect with a straight line. All right, so after extending the line, I'm going to come out by half inch on my waistline. So come out by half inch on your waistline, then you come down by 1 inch below your bust point, and you're going to connect down. We're drafting the front pattern now. So you're going to connect your dart legs just this way, and you connect it down to the 4 inches you came down by below your waistline, just the way you see me doing. All right, so the next thing we're going to do now, after taking this, the next thing I'm going to do now, the front, I'll take my, okay, first of all, I'll take my round body measurement. I'll divide my bust by 4, add my seam allowance, my sewing allowance. I'll divide my waist by 4, replace the dart intake, and add my seam allowance. I am adding 22 inches seam allowance. All right, so I'll divide my hip by 4, and I'll add my seam allowance, and I'm going to connect the lines just the way you see me doing. All right, now this dress has a button in front, and it also has a zip at the back. So I did not, if you notice, I did not bring out any button allowance yet, right? So I'm going to connect how deep. If you watch the one on the thumbnail, I'm going to connect, it has an under bust, right? An under bust joining. So I'm going to connect my V neckline below my chest line. Then I'm going to give it a curve. From that place I connected my V neckline below my chest line. You can maintain your chest line, it's totally fine, but I came down below my chest line. You're going to curve from there into that leg, that's your under bust, that leg, the way you see me doing. Hope you guys understand. You connect from where your V neckline stop, you connect in a curve pattern. You connect it into your under bust, that place the under bust stop. Then you're going to open it. All right, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm doing. You're going to curve it. Just watch and see how I'm cutting it, right? you're going to curve it inside the underbust, because the underbust has an underbust joining. You're going to cut through out of your underbust. Okay, so now you're going to cut out the remaining part of your pattern. All right, so like I was saying, the front has a button, and I did not add a button allowance to this my pattern. I am going to add the button allowance when cutting on my fabric. Do you understand? I am going to join add my button allowance when cutting on my fabric. Do you guys understand? Please, if you have any question, you can leave it down in the comment section, because I want this particular tutorial to be well detailed, because this dress, you can use it for a wedding, birthday shoot. Like, is a multi-purpose. It's a very beautiful dress and very well designed dress. All right, so guys, after cutting, the next thing I'm going to do now is on my waistline. I want the basque waistline to start from the waist. Some people do cut theirs below, like some people do cut their own below, how do I put it, like below their waistline. Some people come down by 3 inches or 2 inches below their waistline, but I want mine to start from my waistline. So I'm just trying to cut out all the necessary parts so you don't get confused. So the next thing I'm going to do on my waistline, I'm going to give it a curve right on my waistline. Just watch and see what I'm doing. Now, this is just something you just do with your free hand. Give it a curve down to your dart leg. You follow that where your dart leg stop, and you're going to curve it until it gets down. Right? So this is just a free hand stuff. Just give it a curve. That part is what we're going to be using for our slash and spread. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay. So after that, we're going to be drafting for the back. So cut this out. This part, we are going to use it for the slash and spread. Hope you guys understand. Please, I beg you in the name of God, if you don't understand any part of this, please, I want you to indicate down the comment section. All right, so this is it. This is the front, the upper side. I'm still going to do a little bit slash and spread on it, because if you watch the bust part, it has a little gathered. The underbust part, it has a little pleat on it. Okay, so now for the back, we're going to be drafting for the back now. So I've marked my starting line. I'll go ahead to mark my bust points, my waistline. I'm not adding any underbust because the back doesn't have underbust. My bust points, waistline, hip line, and the full length of my back. All right, so for this dress, for the front, I forgot to say something. You can add a side dart, that's a bust dart. So guys, you can add side dart to yours, or bust dart. Like side dart is also a bust dart to yours. That's for the front if you want. All right, but for me, I'm not using any bust dart because it's not necessary. Right, it's not necessary. So now I'm going to divide my shoulder divided by 2, come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. From my 1 inch shoulder slope, I'll get my armhole line, which is 9. Then I'm going to mark an horizontal line. For this line is going to be serving as my chest line as well, and a vertical line. Now I'm going to take my neck width is 3 for the back. It remains 3. The neck depth for the back is 1.5. So I'm going to mark, give it a curve with my curve rule. All right, for my neckline, then connect that 1 inch shoulder slope to the neckline. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now, the back has a zip, and I did not add zipper allowance to the back on the pattern while cutting. I'm going to add it as well on my fabric when cutting for my fabric. Do you understand? So I'm going to add divide my nipple to nipple by 2. Now we're starting from the chest line down to 4 inch below my waistline, and I'm going to also take my nipple to nipple there as well, divided by 2. Then I'm going to connect with a straight line, just the way you see me doing. Then I'm going to come down 1 inch from my chest line, below my chest line, then give it my dart leg. So I'm just doing a freehand sketching, but if you don't understand what I'm doing, just come out half inch on your waistline, the way I did for the front, and mark your dart leg. That's just it. So I'll divide my bust divided by 4, add my seam allowance, my waist divided by 4, replace that intake, add my seam allowance, my hip divided by 4, I'll add my seam allowance. Remember, the seam allowance I'm adding is 2 inch. All right, so I'm going to connect the lines just the way you see me doing. Okay, so connect your line for your back all the way down to your full length. All right, now my full length is 35, like I said. So if you want yours more than 35, you can come down by 40, 50, any length you want. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So like I said, the back also has zip. The back also has a zipper, but I did not add the zipper allowance on the pattern. I'm going to add the zipper allowance while cutting on my fabric. Okay, so hope we are on the same page. This is the reason why I want the drafting part to be different while the joining part to be different, because I want every of this video to be detailed. I don't want to hear I don't understand anything. I want it to be detailed, okay, so that even a beginner can also do this, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring that part I'm going to use for my slash and spread for the front and place it on the back just this way, because I want it to be equal. So guys, I'm trying to place it properly. I think the back is a little bit longer than the front. The front is a little bit longer than the back. Maybe it's from my cutting. So just place it, make sure everything is equal. Then I'm going to use my marker to trace it out, to trace the line out. All right, so please make sure everything is equal before you trace out, so you don't have a mix up somewhere or whatever. So I'm going to use my marker to trace it out just the way you see me doing. Just take your time. And one thing again about this outfit, do not rush when making yours. When drafting or when sewing, take your time. All right, so after drafting, I'm going to bring it out, then cut it out as well. So these two, I'm going to be joining it together for our slash and spread. You can use one for your slash and spread, but I'm going to be using these two. I'll be using my masking tape on both of them before cutting my slash and spread. So now I am done cutting for the back. We're going to draft on our fabric. So I'll label it front and back. All right, so we're going to be drafting on our fabric now. So I have this fabric. I have this newspaper fabric I got for a very long time. It has been lying down, like lying on my wardrobe, so I decided to use it for. So now we're going to be drafting. This is the front. I'm going to remove the upper side. You know, I said okay, that one will be for slash and spread also. So if you look well, and I just want to label that part on that box so you guys will follow up. So now I am adding that 2 inches for button allowance. This is the front. I'm adding the 2 inches for button allowance. All right, so that was why I said I'm going to add it on my fabric. I'm not going to be adding it on the pattern. So this is my 2-inch seam allowance. Okay, so I'm trying to place my fabric properly. 2 inches button allowance, sorry, not seam allowance. Then I'll go ahead to cut it out. While cutting on the hem length, I'll just add quarter inches, because I've already added all the necessary allowance for this. Okay, so I'm just trying to hold the pattern down so it doesn't move. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. On the side, I'm not adding much. I'm just adding a little bit of seam allowance, like quarter inch, right? Quarter inch allowance on the side, on the sides, and I'll cut through. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this, cuts for the back as well. Okay, and while cutting for the back, I'm going to also add zipper allowance, because the front and the back has the front has button while the back has zip. Okay, hope you guys understand. So this is it for the front. Remember, I've not cut the slash and spread for the up for the front, so this is it for the front. All right, so I'm going to open up the darts. So I'm going to open up the darts intake. I'll use my scissors and I'll open it up just this way on the fabric. Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm going to open it up. This is still the front. I'm still working on the front. Open it up. That is why I said this outfit, this particular style, you're going to take your time. So I'm done with the front. When I open it up this way, you're going to see how it's going to look like. I'll close the dart intake just this way, the darts just this way. All right, so I'll go ahead and cut the remaining parts of my pattern. Now for the slash and spread for the up, I'm going to get the up side of it. I'll get my fabric, get the up side of it, then I'll get my shoulder, the center of my shoulder, and I'll mark it with my marker with a straight line. Then I'm going to open this up, but I'm not going to open it entirely. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up just this way, but not entirely. Then after opening it, I'm going to space it a little. All right, I'm going to space it a little. Now if you want to space, the bust side, the under bust of this has kind of pleated on it. It has kind of pleated on it a little, so just space it a little, not space it too much, just space it a little. Then you go ahead to cut this out. Can you see how I spaced mine? Just a little. Then you go ahead and cut this out. So I'm going to use the things I have around to hold my pattern down so it doesn't shift. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So I'll use my chalk to trace it out first before cutting. I'm going to add 1/4 inch all around it before cutting. That 1/4 inch is for the joining allowance, hope you understand. So I'm going to give it 1/4 inch all around, then I'll cut through. So I'm done cutting. This is how it's going to look like I'm going to plait it a little. All right, so that is it for the front. I'm done cutting for the front. I'm going to go ahead now. We're going to cut for the back. All right, so for the back, I'm going to place my fabric this way as well. Can you see I added the 2 inches for zipper? You can add 1.5 inches for your zipper. All right, so I'm going to hold it down and I'm going to cut through. Do you understand? I added, remember the front is button, I added 2 inches for the button for the front. The back, I added 2 inches as well for the zipper. I hope you understand. And while cutting, I'm going to give it 1/4 inch all around. Do you get me? Hope you understand. If you don't understand, if you get anything missing, you can reverse it back, or you can drop your question down the comment section. If you've watched up to this extent and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I beg you in the name of God, please hit on the subscribe button and do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you could be notified whenever I post beautiful tutorials like this. All right, because you're going to be seeing more of this. So now for zipper bulge, I'm going to come out by 1 inch of my waistline. Okay, if you've been following this channel, we normally do this whenever we want to make a dress to prevent our zipper from bulging. So I'm going to come out by 1/2 inch, then I'll slant it down and upwards like this. So I'll go ahead and cut through. Hope you guys understand. Now I wanted to say something before. Like I said, if you want to make this dress for a client, please consider the amount you're charging your clients. This dress is very stressful because on this dress we're going to be using both strong net and lining for it, for the basque waistline, so that the basque waistline is going to bob very well. So if you're making this for a client, you're going to consider the amount aside the fabrics you're going to get. You're still going to consider the stress you're going to pass through while making this dress, because it's very, very stressful. I won't lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. It's very stressful and it's time consuming because you have to take your time. All right, so I'm just trying to cut out the dart intake for the back as well. Then I'm going to use my chalk to trace it down and cut it out on my fabric. Do you understand? So I'm done cutting the dart open. I'm going to cut a facing for the back now. So I'll get my fabric and I'll place the back on top and I'll cut a facing for my neckline. So that is what I'm trying to do. So go ahead, cut a facing for yours. You can use lining for this, but it's not necessary. Okay, just cut a facing for yours, but do not use bias to turn your neckline, please. All right, so I'm done cutting facing for my front. I'm done cutting for my back, sorry. So we are done for the back drafting on our fabric. All right, so now we're going to cut for the slash and spread. Okay, that is what is remaining. We're going to cut for the slash and spread. So you're going to get your 2 patterns and you're going to place it this way. Get your 2 pattern and place it this way. You can use one of your patterns for this, one of your slash and spread pattern for this, but I'm going to be using masking tape to tape this together so that I can get more volume for my basque waistline, or rather for my slash and spread. So I'm going to use my masking tape to hem the center of this pattern. Then I'm going to mark from 1 to 12. All right, so guys, that is it. I'm done using. Can you see where I taped where I used masking tape on? So I'll get my marker now and I'll start marking my lines for my slash and spread. All right, so just mark your lines to whatever number you feel it's okay for you. So I'll mark my line. Then after marking my line, I'm going to number it. Do not forget to number your lines. It's very, very important, because if you don't number your line, you're going to get this pattern mixed up. So after marking your straight line this way, please number your lines. And again, for the front, that's under bust part I cut for the upper side, you're going to cut a lining for it as well. Okay, so this is me numbering my patterns from 1 to 12. Yeah, I think I have 12 lines here, and I will go ahead to cut this on my fabric. I'm cutting it on my fabric. So we're going to cut our sleeve before cutting our slash and spread on our fabric. So you know, the sleeve, the shoulder, the sleeve shoulder side is pleated. It's pleated, and the hem part of the sleeve has an elastic. So I'm going to divide my shoulder by 2. I'm going to divide my round sleeve by 2. Then I'm going to add extra 9 or 10 inches to it for the pleated shoulder. All right, then I'm going to come down by 4 inches, and I'm going to come down by 4 inches, and I'm going to take the length of my sleeve. So the length of my sleeve, the one on the thumbnail is short, but I want mine a bit longer, so I'm going to make it 25, both the hemming allowance for the elastic. So I'm going to curve this high and low. You guys know how we curve our sleeve now. I'm still going to leave a link on how to cut your normal sleeve down the comment section, down the description box. Okay, so that is it for the sleeve, and I'm going to cut this out. This is one side of our sleeve. I did not fold the fabric into 4, so this is one side of our sleeve. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place the other side so that I can be able to cut it together with the other sleeve, right? So I'm going to bring one of the sleeve which I've drafted. I'll place it on the other fabric and I will cut through. All right, so now I have my 2 sleeve, one for the left, one for the right. Hope you guys understand. So I'm going to cut this. Then after cutting, please make sure you notch the center of your sleeve. After cutting your sleeve, make sure you notch the center of your sleeve. All right, hope you guys understand. So then I'll notch my sleeve. The next thing we're going to do now is to cut our slash and spread for this. Okay, so we are done cutting the sleeve. So for the slash and spread, I'm going to place my fabric, fold my fabric into 2, then I'll start opening up the numbers from 1 to 12. So this is it. I'm going to cut this off camera because my table is not wide enough. I'm going to cut this on the floor. So I'm trying to place the hem length is going to be the same. It's going to be straight. That's the down length of the pattern of the slash and spread is going to be straight. Okay, so you're going to space this depending on how pleated you want your basque waistline to be. Okay, so I'm going to do this on the floor and show you what I did. So this is it on the floor. Can you see how I placed my slash and spread from 1 to 12? Can you see the hem length is all the same, it's straight, but the upper side is going to be like, you know, low, high, low. All right, so I'm done cutting it, and this is it. So I'll fold it into 2 and I'll notch the center. Here I have one side for my left, one side for my right. So I'm going to fold it into 2 and I will notch just this way. Hope you guys understand. So we've come to the end of the drafting. We are done drafting our pattern. So like I said before, I want the drafting part separate and the stitching part separate. So we've come to the end of the drafting part of this tutorial, and I hope you find it interesting. Please give us a thumbs up, share this video, and leave a nice comment. See you on the part 2 of this dress. Bye.